Today I'm very excited to be reviewing the new Seles Axos Alto made by Selmer in France. Now this instrument has been in development for some time, and what Selmer have tried to do here is create an entry-level professional saxophone that competes with the likes of the Yanni W01 series and the YS62. And the aim was not to compromise on quality and the tradition that's associated with Selmer in Paris. Now, one aspect that's interested me here is that Selmer have embraced current technology and they're now using computer-aided design, which of course helps to increase production whilst reducing costs at the same time. I'd imagine that it also help with improving consistency, but it should be pointed out that these instruments are hand-built, and aspects like the pillars are soft-soldered onto the body of the saxophone. The setup and assembly is completed in their factory in Paris. And I think all these aspects add up and help to give each instrument their own identity. I'm sure this is the case with the Axos. Now, if you're wondering how Selmer have managed to produce a sax in their own factory for essentially about 2/3 of the cost of their other regular range saxophones, well, that's a good question. So what they've done there is they've done a sort of study of several things to help aid the cost-to-value ratio. So I've mentioned it earlier, the computer-aided design helps to increase consistency and produce less waste. They've also outsourced less significant components from renowned worldwide manufacturers. The bell, you'll notice, is also stamped rather than engraved. Should also point out it's less of a cost thing, but something worthy of pointing out, that the lacquer on the instrument is a slightly thicker, more standard lacquer as opposed to the thinner water-based lacquer that they would use on their upper range. And I think this thicker lacquer helps to give a little bit more depth and warmth to the sound, whilst also sort of protecting the instrument from blemishes at a later stage. Now let's talk about the sax in some more detail. I should start by pointing out that it comes in a sort of fantastic outfit, including the famous Selmer S80 C-style mouthpiece, along with a BAM Selmer light case, which is the same case that you get with a Series 2 or a Series 3. My first impressions of the sax, when you run your fingers up and down it, is it's very similar to the Series 2 Alto. In fact, I did a bit of an A-B comparison before this video, and I could hardly detect too much difference there, which for me is a great thing, because personally I love the action on the Series 2 Alto. Beyond this, it comes down to the sound. This is the big question, and it definitely has that sound that you associate with a Selmer Paris sax, full of depth and quality of tone. It's kind of hard to put into words, but as a player you definitely feel it and you hear it when you play it. Also contained within that sound is a slightly greater resistance, and you get this more with Selmer saxes, say perhaps more than the Japanese branded saxes that have more of a sort of instant quality to them. So this is more of a personal preference as to which way you want to go. So personally I like this aspect. I think it helps create depth and soul to the sound. So for a sniff over £2,000, I think this is a serious contender.